I have to tell you, I've been a fan of yours for so long. Casey's one of my favorite characters, Party Down, so just had to tell you before we get into this. Now we're getting into a whole different realm of a character, Alex Forrest.
I think there's some similarities between Alex Forrest and Casey from Party Down.
I could see it, I could see it. So you recently told the New York Times that when it comes to characters, you're drawn to messes. How would you say that you can relate to Alex?
I can't really relate to Alex in many ways, but I can find a lot of compassion for Alex. I wouldn't make the decisions that she makes, but I can understand why she thinks she should be making the decisions that she makes.
Yeah, definitely, and I feel like it's going to be very interesting to see your take on her backstory and how we can see that all play out. The line, "I'm not going to be ignored, Dan," that's quite an iconic line. What was it like approaching that, and how many times did you practice before you got it right?
God, I mean, we shot it a lot of times, but it's so funny. It is such an iconic line, and yet where that line comes into our series is at a very different moment than when it comes in the film. And so, while I hope it has some shades of the original, what was required of me in that moment was very different.
Well, you definitely brought your own spirit to it. We were wondering, could we get the line into the camera?
Hell no.
I tried. Okay, well, we're taking a new spin on this show, or not the show, the movie, with Dan actually suffering some consequences, which we know Alex is very happy about, right? What do you think about this, and what kind of conversation does that open now that it's a different story, essentially?
I mean, I think that Dan absolutely deserves to suffer consequences. He doesn't, in the film, suffer many other than Alex's pursuit of him and all that comes with that. But he doesn't really suffer many consequences from his wife, from his job, really the world, society, and, you know, it's not the coolest thing for a married man to do, and I think he's got to answer for it. Maybe not as much as Alex, but somewhat.
Somewhat, and I think we all want answers, so we're getting something. And lastly, I know you always get asked about this, but Mean Girls the Musical is going to come out. Oh my gosh, would you ever consider stepping back into Janis's shoes, and where do you think she would be 20 years later?
I really have no idea where, I mean, I would trust anything that Tina Fey would do, but I have been asked this, and it's definitely not up to me to make that decision. So it's sort of an impossible question to answer, but I saw the musical on Broadway, was a big fan. I'm very excited for the movie.